Good afternoon, everybody. I'll begin with our national pledge. You must all be familiar with this. My generation of students grew up on this, listening to it every assembly morning in school. India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. I love my country, and I'm proud of its rich and varied heritage. I guess the word heritage took root in me right from there. Although back then, for me, heritage was mainly monuments, pictures of beautifully built structures from the past, which you see in your textbooks, school textbooks. But then it took a long while for me to really understand the true meaning of heritage, and that it does not only mean buildings and monuments and names of kings and queens, battles, when it happened, why it happened, all that. It took me a little while to go deeper and understand that heritage means a lot more than that, and that it encompasses everything that we are. Our culture, our nature, our socio-economic past, our religions, our beliefs, our customs, our ceremonies, everything belongs and becomes a part of our heritage. What we call tangible and intangible is part of our heritage. And it took a lot longer to understand that we have a lot more beyond this to understand heritage. That these things, what we see in front of us, is not something that happened overnight. And that there is reasons why these things have happened, why a monument was built, or why a battle was fought, or why a marriage alliance took place. So we go deeper and deeper to understanding, and that is where that understanding of history is what is actually making history relevant for modern day students. Otherwise, we always wonder, what is the point in reading about history? What do we learn from history? It is when we have this deeper understanding of history that we learn to appreciate our culture and our heritage. So even later, as a student of archaeology doing my PhD, I worked on the Indus Valley civilization sites, what we call the Harappan sites. And in India, most of them are based in the barren landscape of Gujarat and Rajasthan. So while doing this research, I got interested in how a city or a settlement, whether it is a small village or a town or a city, how it comes into being, and how some of them flourish, some of them become stagnant, and some of them disappear, like what has happened to the Harappan settlements. We don't see them. They are under, you cannot see, the human eye cannot see it. Of course, archaeologists have to excavate, dig, and find. And I think that is when I got interested in how a city comes into being, how every city, your city, my city, your city when you were a child, or when you grow up, or you go to another place, you're still in another city. So what is the history behind this city? Where did it start? That became a point of interest to me, deep fascination for me to understand how a city comes about. So wherever I have been, wherever I have lived in different parts of India and abroad, my effort has been to discover this past about the city, which you don't get to read in textbooks, otherwise you have to be a research scholar to go deeper. But the basic interesting facts about their history, some may call it as trivia, but then these basic facts of your city's history is what makes living in that area more interesting, not just for a historian, but I think for everyone, it is interesting. So I thought, why not start something like this in Trivandrum? Interestingly, heritage walks are very common across the globe. You find them all over in developed countries especially. It is a very common phenomena. You have heritage walks. Even in India, we have big cities have a lot of initiatives by the government and by the people, which helps to discover the heritage of that city. But when I moved to Kerala, in Trivandrum, I was surprised that despite it being a capital city of our state, there was no such initiative. And I also realized that, like me, there would be many others who would be equally interested to know more about the city of Trivandrum. As you know, that there are a lot of young people, especially from the IT sectors, who have left the country and visit India, visit their hometown, and they are also keen to know more about their state. A lot of people who have come back to their roots, NRIs who are coming back to their roots in their hometown also are keen to know more about. So this was an initiative that helped all such people, regardless of your being a professional or a housewife or a person, of different age groups, little school children, all who are interested to know about the heritage of Trivandrum are welcome to join this initiative. And it really grew. We started in October 2013 with just 20 people. And now on Facebook alone, we have a membership of nearly 8,000 members. And there are others who are not on the social media platforms who are informed about this through newspaper clippings and news snippets in the daily events columns, etc., who join us. So from a group of 20 people who would come for a heritage walk has now grown to sometimes 50 and sometimes 100, depending on the novelty of the destination that we are doing. You see, Kerala as a state is well known historically for its natural beauty, its backwaters, its mountains and beaches, etc. And in the last few decades, we have also known Kerala as the center for Ayurveda wellness. And more recently, there is a rekindling of interest in this ancient spice trade route of Kerala also. But what we miss out is that we don't know every part of Kerala has very interesting history, whether it is Kottayam, your state, or Alappuzha, or Kozhikode. It all has very interesting history, whether related with trade or individual chiefdom states, the politics, the socio-economy, the cultural variations between these regions. It's all so fascinating, but then we get to know very little of it. Why? Because we are a peripheral state. In schools, we learn about the Mughals, we learn about the Mauryas, we learn about the Guptas, we learn about the Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. But we barely know anything about, say, a king like Martandavarma or a palace like the Padmanabhapuram Palace, or we know very little about what was happening in the trade city of Kottayam, the trade city of Kozhikode or Kochi or in Trivandrum. That's mainly because we all are focused on the history of the mainland regions. So initiatives like the Heritage Walk Trivandrum helps you to discover what these minor regions in the peripheral areas, the history, the culture that they had, the heritage which needs to be highlighted. Luckily, for some governments are encouraging this kind of by, motivating these aspects also into the tourism industry, wherein people are, become aware of whatever structural or whatever cultural heritage we have in this state. So with initiative like Heritage Walk Trivandrum, which is absolutely free for anyone to join, we want to bring the heritage of the city of Trivandrum to the forefront for people to appreciate and understand, and in the process also protect it. Because what happens in cities like whether it is Kochi, Kozhikode or Trivandrum, in this fast-paced development craze, we are trying to erase out a lot of the structural remains that we have. We are forgetting a lot of the heritage that we have. So it's not just the, when a tourist comes to India, when a tourist comes to Kerala, the image that he or she conjures is of a Kathakali image. But there's a lot more than Kathakali that needs to be showcased in this state. So initiatives like Heritage Walk Trivandrum, we hope that it will also be emulated in other parts of Kerala, like say in the in the region of Kottayam or in Calicut or in Alappuzha. We need to replicate these kind of initiatives so that people have a better understanding and showcasing of the heritage wealth that we have in our country. And that is my experience from starting this initiative in Trivandrum. It has been a really wonderful outreach program. It has, as they say, it's reached a movement proportion wherein people are eager to replicate and emulate this similar initiative in their respective regions. Thank you so much.